Most people think a $1,000 car payment costs $1,000 a month. It doesn't. It costs $150,000. And almost nobody sees it coming because the part that hurts most never shows up on the loan statement. You looked at the payment, checked your budget, decided you could handle it. You were right. You can handle the payment. What you can't see is what that payment is costing you in the background, every month, compounding silently for years. By the end of this, you'll see the full number, built layer by layer, every dollar accounted for. The people carrying $1,000 car payments aren't reckless. Most ran the numbers, checked the budget, made what felt like a responsible call. The payment fits. The bank approved it. Life moves forward. But a car payment is never just a payment. It's interest building every month, a vehicle losing value while you sleep, an insurance premium higher than it needs to be, and money that will never grow because it's already gone. All of it, at once, every month, no warning. The payment feels manageable. The full cost stays invisible. That gap is exactly where $150,000 disappears. Here's a real example. New full-size SUV, $65,000. Financed over 60 months. Payment lands at $1,000 a month. Feels like a car decision. It's a wealth decision. Made in 45 minutes. That buyer isn't alone. The average monthly payment on a new vehicle in the US has crossed $700. On trucks, full-size SUVs, and premium crossovers, $900, $950, $1,100 a month is no longer unusual. And lenders have made it easier to get there. Loan terms have stretched. 72 months, sometimes 84. Spread the payments out, the monthly number feels smaller, and the total cost becomes something the buyer never sees. The payment shrinks, the cost grows. Nobody at the dealership mentions that. So let's build the real number, layer by layer. Layer 1, the loan. $1,000 a month for 60 months. That's $60,000. But that's not what the loan costs. Interest runs on top. Depending on your rate and credit, you're paying between $8,000 and $14,000 in interest before it's done. The car hasn't moved a mile yet in this math. Layer 2, depreciation. A new vehicle starts losing value the moment it leaves the lot. Many vehicles lose between 30 and 50% of their value within the first 5 years, varying by make, model, and market conditions. On a $65,000 vehicle, a 40% loss is $26,000. Not money spent on something, not money that went anywhere useful. Value that stopped existing. You didn't spend it. It evaporated. Layer 3, insurance. Insuring a $65,000 vehicle costs meaningfully more than insuring a $25,000 one. Full coverage, depending on your state, your record, your coverage, runs several $1,000s more per year. Over 5 years, that gap adds between $4,000 and $9,000. Layer 4, maintenance. Higher trim vehicles cost more to keep running. Tires, brakes, scheduled service. The premium over a modest vehicle lands between $3,000 and $6,000 across 5 years. We're at $115,000 before the most important layer. This one never appears on paper. Layer 5, opportunity cost. Every month, $1,000 leaves. It doesn't build, it doesn't compound, it's gone. What if it hadn't been? Historically, the S&P 500 has averaged around 7% per year after adjusting for inflation. Not a guarantee, markets move in both directions, but over long horizons, that's been the documented pattern. $1,000 a month, invested consistently. 10 years. roughly $173,000. Not from a business, not from a windfall, not from anything complicated. From one redirected payment. Add every layer: the loan, the interest, the depreciation, the insurance gap, the maintenance, and a decade of compounding that never happened, and the honest total lands between $140,000 and $190,000. $150,000 is not the alarming version of this story. It's the conservative one. So why does this keep happening to smart people? Because the place where cars get bought is built around one number, and it's never the real one. At some point in almost every car purchase, the conversation narrows to one question. What are you looking to spend per month? Not the total cost, not the resale value, not what it costs you to never invest that money, just the monthly number. One question. That turns a $65,000 decision into a $1,000 one. This is payment thinking, where the monthly number replaces the actual cost in your head. One of the most effective ways to disconnect a buyer from the real weight of what they're signing. $65,000 feels heavy. $1,000 a month feels manageable. Same decision, completely different emotional experience. And underneath that, something else nobody talks about. A car is the most visible thing most people own. It sits outside. Friends see it. Strangers notice it. A retirement account is invisible. An index fund is invisible. Compound interest is invisible. So we stretch on the thing everyone can see and underinvest in everything that actually builds, without ever recognizing that's the pattern. Same income, two different decisions. Person A buys a new $65,000 SUV, $1,000 a month, 5 years of payments. Looks exactly like success is supposed to look. Person B buys a clean, reliable used car, $300 a month. Puts the other $700 into a basic index fund. No strategy, no expertise, just consistency. 10 years later, Person A has a vehicle worth between $12,000 and $18,000 and a decade of payments behind him. Person B has, based on those same long-term historical averages, between $120,000 and $145,000 in accumulated assets from one decision, made once, repeated automatically. Around $15,000 versus around $130,000. Same income, same decade, one decision. That's not a wealth secret. That's arithmetic. This isn't one person making one mistake. Tens of millions of Americans are carrying new vehicle payments right now. Millions above $700 a month. A growing number at $1,000 or more. For most of them, the full cost has never been calculated. Never written down. Never seen as a single number. No dramatic loss, no crash, no crisis. The money just doesn't build. Month after month, year after year, the payment leaves. And everything it could have become quietly doesn't. It's not a car problem. It's a wealth leak that moves too slowly to feel like an emergency. This isn't an argument against buying a car. Everyone needs transportation. It's about the gap. The gap between the car you need and the car you bought. That gap is where the $150,000 lives. A $22,000 vehicle gets you to work, gets your family where they need to go, does everything a car is supposed to do. The difference between that car and a $65,000 one isn't capability. It's a visibility decision with a $150,000 price tag. Valid if you've made it consciously, if you've seen the full number and decided it's worth it. Most people haven't seen the number. That's the only thing this video was ever about. The payment was never the cost. The cost was everything that never had a chance to grow. Once you see how this number gets built, the loan, the depreciation, the insurance, the decade of compounding that silently never happened, a $1,000 car payment stops looking like a monthly expense. It starts looking like a decision. And the most expensive decisions aren't the ones you made carelessly. They're the ones you made without ever seeing the full price. Most people never calculate the real cost of the things they normalize. That's how wealth disappears quietly. So here's what I want to know. What's your current car payment? Drop it in the comments. No judgment. I'm genuinely curious how many people actually ran these numbers before signing.